Hi, I'm Joe,
I'm Taylor.
and we're going to tell you this is a Taylor submitted idea. This is about employees treating them good or bad, employee morale, basically. If you have a company and you've ever worked for somebody or you have employees yourself, how to recognize good behavior or bad behavior and how to handle it. Right, Taylor?
In all fairness, I said good. You said you wanted to show the bad as well.
Yes, he said good, and I said let's show the bad as well. So we'll get right into it, YouTube commenters.
Yes.
So I think this is a great way to boost employee morale and increase productivity is creating employee incentives, right? So incentives for goals for maybe pay incentives, gift certificates, rewards, award systems at the end of the year, or maybe even things like Taylor suggested, like
like recognizing you at meetings or having cards given to you, or you just made an email, something that shows the company or everybody. It shows many people that you did something good. Just like kind of makes you stand out in front of everybody.
Yeah. So basically, you're trying to take the employees, and no matter what it is, $25 gift card, $10 gift card to Starbucks, whatever, just little things that you can do to recognize an employee for their, not just employee of the month and an award, an actual gift item that goes along with it, showing something that is a certificate or something that you can give them that'll make them happy that they received it and make them appreciate it. And the best thing about that, from my perspective, is it's a cheap way to gain employee boost and morale without giving a permanent bonus or raise.
I just passed my 5 years at my job, and not only do we get a certificate saying 5 years of service, but we get a catalog. We get to pick one free gift from the catalog. Now, granted, we went
raise, right?
We went through the catalog, and all items cost like $10, $11.
Okay,
but they're still in a catalog, and it's still a free gift. And when you say you get a free gift, like it makes you feel good because you get it's free and free shipping as well.
Yeah. How's the raise looking?
I get my review pretty soon.
So it works. See, Taylor's already happy. See, you see that? He's already ecstatic, and he hasn't necessarily received the raise yet, but he got the catalog, and the catalog, what was the dollar value of the items, would you say, in the catalog?
We checked, it was like $11, $12, but honestly...
Total value for everything, though? The whole package together. Like, if you picked a bunch of items, how much was the value?
Oh, I had $20, $30.
There you go. 20 or $30, he's happy as shit.
Yes, I am happy.
If you could see his face right now... Well, you'll see it later.
All teeth.
Yeah.
All teeth.
So creating incentives works. The other thing is we talk about the minimum wage and things going on with that, is to pay accordingly. If you just talk about giving the bottom performers, the lowest workers in the company, the $15 an hour wage, you cannot give them $15 an hour without paying the rest of your employees accordingly. They found out with this experiment, right? There was a company that paid an average, it was a minimum wage of $70,000 per year. Do you remember this was in the news a while back?
I did not know this.
Yes, no. It was of course some .com company that has a bunch of investors and it's probably going to fail in a couple of years. But nonetheless, he was paying employees $70,000 a year minimum wage. Now, the whole point of it was to make sure that everyone had a livable wage, right? But some of it backfired where the other workers that, let's say they already made $70,000 a year, they had felt that they had worked harder than the people that had recently got bumped up to their salary, or the other workers that were making $70,000 a year, as the guys below them got bumped up to their salary, they received no wage. So the whole point is that when you raise the bottom salaries up, you have to raise everything with that accordingly. So you cannot just pay the bottom up to $15 an hour to the next level where these guys got $15 an hour, because you have to pay everyone accordingly or it creates a morale disincentive. Taylor has seen this before, right?
Yes, when we were working at a horrible place, Target, a long time ago.
I knew he was going to bring it up. That's why he's here.
I started off at a certain wage, and I got a raise that was, I think, like 10 cents more than what the minimum wage went up to.
On time every day. Taylor worked very hard, dressed great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And because the new minimum wage went up, new people came in. We're getting paid almost as much as I was, and I've been there for a while, and I had no increase. So
and that just kills morale. It kills everything because what happened was they got paid that base rate, but the people that were actually better employees, like Taylor, didn't get a raise because the other workers got it. Now you might say, well, that's just the way it works out with minimum wage, things like that. But the problem is that you will lose workers that are actually more valuable to the company because they're not getting paid accordingly to what that is. So this isn't a minimum wage argument here. This is an argument to get paid accordingly. So if you see this going on and you hire workers at minimum wage and your existing workers got $15 an hour, you might want to talk to them because they might be next in line for quitting or a morale boost using some of these factors, or give them the employee catalog and they can pick out of that, right?
Also, is it true that a new employee costs more than an existing employee?
Well, yeah, because new employees are unproven. Like, you can have turnover with a new employee, right? You can have, like, they can know you and they can know you're always going to stay. Taylor will always be here. Don't worry about him. We don't have to pay him accordingly, and we can just pay the new guys, right? Yeah. And then the new guys might drop off. They might stay. They might not be as good. So the new employees do cost more. But everyone is always infatuated with a new person because they could be better than Taylor, but more often than not, they're not, right, Taylor?
Never.
Never.
Not me.
Never as good. At this company, no one I've ever hired has ever been as good as me because I'm the only one who's ever existed at this company.
Yes, and I'm the co-hiring. So,
and Taylor's in charge of co-hiring, so that's how that works out. So the next thing is have employee appreciation events. We actually do that here at Flip Monkey Media and the Joe Tells You Show, where last week we had
with pizza.
We had pizza and Jersey Mike's Extraordinaire, and we used coupons, so the entire party cost us $17.
Yes.
But we were very happy.
And very stuffed.
And bloated.
Very oily.
Yeah, and very oily. Probably still oily now from last week's show. So ice cream parties, pizza parties. You ever watch King of the Nerds? They're very happy with that Little Caesars pizza party. This is a big budget production here for TNT, and the value cost of the dinner they're providing for the nerds is a total of $30. So that just shows you how ecstatic that they were getting that. I mean, how much did Little Caesars pay for the spot? And how much do they get in promotion from the nerds, and how much actual pizza they provide? Like, the value had to be incredible, right?
It's a night and day for that value right there.
The next thing is recognize, of course, good behavior and give people awards and show them appreciation in front of others for good behavior, right?
Yeah.
Taylor has an example
especially if you're on time every day, or you don't, you stand out as you're an example and you're a leader as far as in your team or your department. Make them feel, show them that you understand, that you see that there is not another cog in the wheel. And
here's the part where this all comes around full circle, right here. As much as we're saying to recognize the good behavior, you have to discipline and recognize the bad behavior. This is critical. This is what's going on at one of our friends' other companies. We'll interview him later. Works in the adult entertainment industry, not that industry, the other industry, a very clean industry. But the discipline issues run deep at these type of places. And if you want to have the best type of establishment, that you need to understand that you have to discipline and do this accordingly. So if you have bad behavior, you must discipline accordingly. So if you see it, you have to discipline immediately, effectively, and you have to show everyone else that you take the discipline seriously. Because if one person can get away with this multiple times, it'll be like a morale disincentive. It'll lower morale for every single person at the company who sees this, because they know, well, if they play by the rules, they won't necessarily have to play by the rules because this other person doesn't get disciplined. And if they play by the rules and do good, they won't necessarily be rewarded for it. So watch for that behavior, and watch as equally as you watch for, like, you've heard this term, like a cancer at the company, right? Or a cancer in a group. The person who badmouths the company and tells the company how everything is really bad and really awful and really horrible and he hates being there. You must recognize that there's a cancer and eliminate it. Tell them to change the behavior or fire that person, because it'll bring down the entire morale. Now, just as much as you have to understand that this is a problem for a cancer, it's also a problem when you have a group leader and you eliminate the group leader. Like, if the group leader is well beloved and they actually increase the morale, you don't want to fire that person or make that person quit, because that, again, can lower the morale. So recognize a leader and recognize a cancer in a group. The next one is fire early and often. If you know someone is a cancer, Taylor loves this one. If you know someone's a cancer or a bad worker, or they are not showing to be the person that you had hired them to initially be, fire them early and often before they become a cancer for the rest of everyone else. Because Taylor might not have not liked his company until the cancer. Like if he's the new guy and he's there for a month and he's like, this company sucks, Taylor's like, this guy's crazy, right? But if he's been there for 6 months and he's telling Taylor every single day how the company sucks and you don't want to work there, Taylor's like, I might not actually want to work here. So you want to fire early and often before the cancer spreads. Just like every effective cancer treatment, when you get out the growth and you have early chemotherapy, it increases your odds of developing. Right, Taylor? Taylor loves the early and often made it. It goes from me giving you advice to all of a sudden me being the heartless businessman that I am, and Taylor just
that was a fun quick turn.
Yeah, Taylor appreciate it. And
fire
then
early and often.
Then the other thing is, so you don't get into trouble with all these these firings and these hirings and these recognitions, and not have clear stated values, right? Have clear stated values for what you want to see in performance for the company, what your goals are, what things need to be done, and have the people that have to do those tasks, complete those tasks, and have clear rewards and clear value systems. If everything is in a gray area, or maybe this person's in charge or that person's in charge, or things like that, things get mixed up, things get confusing. Have very clear stated goals and values for your employees, and you will go far with the company. Taylor?
May I also add that not you can manage and be close to your team, but don't micromanage. Leave some breathing room, but also let them work on their own. If you see that at my job, I'm able to listen to like my laptop and listen to YouTube and watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts, but also do my work. And if you see somebody who is doing that, but also being a top performer, leave them alone. They're doing what they do. They're enjoying themselves, and they're giving you good productivity. It's not a big thing, but it's only when you're completely hands off as a manager or supervisor and you let your team run amok that there's issues. The saying that I always stick to is, when the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yeah, exactly. So remember that. Remember exactly what Taylor just said right now about the cats and the mice, and then remember to fire early and often. So that's
your takeaways.
That's Joe. That's Taylor.
And we told you how to fire early and often.
And not only did we tell you, but Joe told you. It's the whole point of this show. And it is so hot in here, the papers are sticking to me. We'll see you next episode.